Truth Rest Your Head by Gene on XFM 104.9 with Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. While I was with Karl in that restaurant, while I was giving him the problems, the old fella with Viagra and the two fellas making love in the cubicle, we came up with a new idea, because he's dumping Do We Need Him, as I say, because he thinks the scientists have got together, they're never going to wipe out a limpet or a slug. They think they're good, but they're not that good. This is people that are lauded as great minds, and Karl has brought them down.
He's taken issue with them.
Like what? He went, right, great thinkers, and I went, okay, then, Sir Isaac Newton, the father of modern physics. He went, is he the fellow with the apple? I went, yeah. He went, there again, see? Why do I need to know that the Earth sucks us towards it, gravity? He said, if I was floating around, it would be a problem, I'd ask his opinion. I went, what about Einstein? He went, again, I've never needed, and this is what he said, I've never needed MC squared in my life. The fella who invented the video, I watch one a day.
You know what I mean, though? Give credit where credit's due.
Right.
And I think that a lot of this stuff that was invented, like when we were talking about inventions, you know, I started to look in books and that, finding stuff out. And there was some fella who got a mention on an invention site just because he came up with the fishbowl. And it's like, is it that hard?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's clearly a bowl.
Sorry, you're not putting him in the same category as Newton and Einstein, are you?
He was on the same list. Einstein was on there. It was saying about him doing that. And Newton with the apple. And who else was in there? Da Vinci, whatever. He was
Leonardo
on there.
da Vinci.
Yeah. Is he the one who did Mona Lisa as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. He said it took him 12 years to paint the lips. I don't think that's that good. Like, it takes that long. I saw, you know, when you think, saw Tony Hart do like an Aborigine man with a elephant in the background, took about 3 minutes.
Aborigine. An Aborigine?
Well,
Really? An elephant?
So what about some of the big names?
Well,
Just
go on, then,
what's your first reaction when I say some big names from history?
Go on.
Gandhi.
Again, what did he do?
Good point.
Right.
Good point. Good point.
Okay.
Good point.
But yeah, all right. Do you understand what he represents?
Well, go on, tell me, and then I'll tell you if he deserves to
But you
be
know,
mentioned.
his whole kind of attitude towards peaceful protest. You know, it's quite a sort of modern idea. You know, very much the forefather of the '60s movement. You know, where people would sort of sit in, you know, and protest. You know,
Steve. Right, look at the glazed look on his face.
Did I lose him on Gandhi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just
Pick
it's not.
someone else. Do someone else.
Pick someone else.
Okay,
Okay.
all
Well, someone you know about that's obviously. Let's think. A great thinker. Isambard Kingdom Brunel.
Right. Yeah, he's all right.
Brilliant. Thanks. What about
Jesus Christ?
Well, I'm thinking more your modern day, like your Richard Bransons and that. Who,
Okay.
like, you know...
To be fair, I wouldn't put Branson up there with Gandhi.
Christ, Newton,
Christ.
Einstein?
But why?
Stephen Hawking.
Because he's mainly known for having a beard and a funny jumper. To be honest,
Yeah,
you have to start including Noel Edmonds.
That's Noel Edmonds, yeah, you're getting confused there.
But Branson's a businessman. He's not one of the great sort of, scientific
But
minds
I
or
think in
philosophical
time,
thinkers.
right, in time... we
Whereas
would've
Clive
worked out-
Sinclair, in his little car, on his way to work, brilliant.
No, but in time, there's certain things, like the apple falling off a tree.
Right.
Whoever was sat there would have gone, that's a bit odd. Do you know what I mean? It's just that
Yeah.
they were there first.
But to be fair, Christ instigated 2,000 years of religion based on his teachings. Richard Branson, to be fair, he did launch Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells.
Yeah,
They're
see
not
the
quite
difference?
comparable.
It depends what you get impressed by, doesn't it? Suzanne's always saying...
Maybe Newton was there, he was coming up with a brilliant theory, like amazing, he was probably inventing the helicopter, right? The apple hit him in the head and he went, the Earth's sucking me, the Earth's sucking me.
There
You know what I mean?
Could have happened. But, so, you know, my girlfriend's always saying, what impresses you?
Yeah.
You know, because she was saying the other day, do you want to go to Egypt? And I said, no, not really.
No.
She goes, well, don't you want to see the pyramids?
Not interested.
It's like, I've seen them on the telly.
Okay.
You know,
Sure.
are they going to be that much more amazing when you see them
Yeah,
in real
good
life?
point, good point.
Uh,
How did you ever move out of your street in Manchester?
But hang on, no, sorry, I'm interested to know because this is something that that he came up with, and this is someone that loves him and that he respects. So I'm interested to see what was your answer to what impresses you.
I don't think I did answer it. I just said, the odd
You
thing.
just said I'm asleep.
Little things. Little things like I ran home the other night and said, oh, I've just learnt something today. She goes, go on. And, you know Lego bricks?
Oh, yeah.
The name came about because some kid's mum, the kid was messing with the bricks, and she said, "Let go of them and come and have your dinner."
Play record.
It's got to be rubbish. It's got to be
Play
rubbish.
It's always rubbish, isn't it?
They're Scandinavian for a start, so... Well, there's no... Let go.
Chill Out album ever, the best
Brilliant.
guitar volume 2, and of course for all our fans, Doctor Who, The Aztecs. That's on DVD, and that's one of the William Hartnell Doctor Who. Alright. That's the worst impression I've ever heard. That's brilliant.
Right, but then...
Right, three cryptic stuff. Oh, come on.
Right.
Rodney,
Yeah,
Three... I can't do it.
no, come on!
Right, three cryptic clues.
some of which may be wrong.
Yeah, and don't take the letters literally.
Yeah.
Right, go on.
And some initials, and it makes up a band. So here we go then. There's three of them. You email in ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
Yep.
Right, here we go then.
Sure.
Number one. The weather stinks, doesn't it?
The weather stinks, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's R.
That's all.
Right.
The weather stinks, doesn't it?
Yeah. Second one. Look, Gran, just get on the boat and help us out.
Alright, give us that again.
Look, Gran, just get on the boat and help us out.
Look round, just get on the boat and help us out. What's the initial?
R again.
R again, interesting.
Yeah. And then the third one, if you're going to do that with your drink, I'd let it settle for a bit before you open it. CK.
CK.
Alright,
What's more?
So quickly, all the way through then. Number one, the weather stinks, doesn't it? That's R. Look, Gran, just get on the boat and help us out, will you? That's R as well. And then the last one, if you're going to do that to your drink, I'd let it settle for a bit before you open it. CK.
ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
Brilliant. Right, first one, the weather stinks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That was R, which was rainbow. Right?
Rainbow?
Like rain is the weather, and it smells like body
Bow?
odour. Body odour. They
No,
say,
it's
oh,
B.O.
It's B.O. That's
It's pronounced
B.O.W.
B.O.
Well, yeah, but you've got to play.
It's not pronounced bow, and it's not spout bow.
Who calls it bow? Everyone knows it's B.O.
What, you don't care? You don't care that doesn't work?
Well, they got it. So again, as long as
One
they're getting
person got it,
as long as
Carl.
they're getting it.
One person got it. Of all the emails, one person got it.
Second one. Look, Gran, just get on the boat, will you, and help us out.
Go on.
That was R. That was Ronan, right?
Ronan, who's Ronan?
Ronan.
Who's Ronan?
Ronan Keating.
But he's known as
That's
Ronan Keating.
No, he's
RK.
not. No, he's not anymore though. He's gone on his own, hasn't he? He's just known as Ronan.
No, he's not.
No, he's not. It's Ronan Keating.
He's always been known as Ronan Keating.
All right.
So that doesn't work either. Go on.
Third one.
Next.
If you're going to do that to your drink, I'd let it settle for a little bit before you open it. That was CK.
Right.
Shake a can. Shake a can. If you're going to shake, you can.
This is the worst competition ever.
So
It's Chaka.
have you got? a
It's
winner?
Chaka. It's Chaka. It's Chaka Khan.
Shake a can.
No, Chaka Khan.
What you got?
Chuck a can might have worked. To throw a can.
Who got all three right then?
Well,
Well, because basically what happened was people
We're
just
stopping this.
emailed in 3 guesses.
We're stopping
and
this.
the guesses that were right came from Mandy.
Well,
Carl, have you got any tattoos? Have you ever thought about that? Any kind of piercings?
Don't like the idea.
No?
Don't mess with your body and that.
Okay.
he doesn't like the human body. He's scared of it.
But I told you, didn't I, about me uncle
God.
Tattoo Stan? We've talked about that, haven't we?
Yeah,
Tattoo
stand.
stand.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got loads, and I
Yeah.
think now he sort of, looks in the mirror and think, oh, what have I done?
Yeah.
But then again,
So do you.
I was
With me life, go
telling Ricky before about someone who had a tattoo. It's a bit horrible, really, isn't it?
I don't know. I can't remember.
The skin thing.
Oh God, yeah.
You're not going to tell us it?
Again, I'm hoping it's not true because it's from Karl, but it's pretty disgusting. But yeah, unfortunately, because there's no paranormal or animals acting like humans involved, I think it might be true. It's a fellow who kept his dad's tattoo.
Yeah, he just sort of, when his dad passed away, he got the skin off and put it in a frame.
Who'd you ask to do that?
Oh, man alive.
Ashes to ashes. Sorry. Before we bury it, you don't.
Before we cremate, and I've got a
Do you
Stanley knife.
Do you do any other services? Like what, my son? I'll just pop some of him in a jar for me. I'm sorry. How do you? I mean,
I bought this clip frame from IKEA.
Yeah.
You just slip that between there.
$4.99.
Yeah.
Oh,
I imagine your father is a man who's probably appalled by the idea of tattoos, earrings, things like that. I imagine he's quite an old school gent.
He's never sort of said anything, but
if you came back with an earring, what would he have said when you were a youngster?
I never saw him that much as a kid, so I don't think he'd have noticed. My mum would have said, "What have you done that for?"
Yeah.
Our kid had a tattoo, and an earring.
Sorry, is this the one that borrowed a tank from the army to go and get a packet of fads?
Yeah. That's
Wow, there you go.
We must tell that story again next week. For those that are fairly new listeners, that's got to seem tantalising.
Yeah.
Your brother once drove a tank down to the local shops to buy some cigarettes. Absolutely true.
Yeah.
It's an extraordinary story.
But that's it. We don't
It was that other auntie you told me about in the week. Not Auntie Nora, the one that farted for 5 minutes, but there's another auntie you talked about. How many aunties have you
I
got?
haven't really got another auntie. I've got me brother,
Yeah.
who I haven't seen in ages.
Yeah.
My sister I hadn't seen for about 12 years, then I saw her again, and then she got fed up because I said...
Oh, you had a new
the
kid and you
baby.
went with all the same. I've seen one, I've seen them all.
Yeah,
Why is she saying that to your sister?
Your sister, you haven't seen her for how long?
I hadn't seen her for about 12 years, and then for some reason I met her in a car park in Wales.
Right.
And,
It's incredible, isn't it?
For some reason.
Yeah.
and she got in the back of the car, and she said, "Oh, I want to show you something," right? And she got this picture out and said, "Look at that." And it was one of my new nieces and nephews. You
It was
can't tell, can you,
her
if it's a
daughter
boy
or
or a
her
girl.
son.
Yeah, or whatever. And she said, "Look at that." And I said, "Oh." And I sort of said, "Well, there's no point showing it me. All babies look the same, don't
There's
they?"
no point in showing it me. It just takes 2 seconds of your life. You go, oh, lovely.
right.
That's all you have to do.
If it was a first,
Yeah.
I'd say, "Oh, I'd show a bit of interest, even though."
Do you think the novelty wore off for her with the second kid, third kid?
Sixth kid. I think even she should be bored of looking at pictures of babies.
Kind of a woman is she? And can I get her phone number?
Right, is that it then?
Play a tune. Have we got? Is this it?
Yeah,
Have
this
we,
is it.
have
This
we
is
got to
the
wrap
last
it all
one,
up?
Yeah.
Oh,
Go
well, I
on.
forgot to bring in a song for the ladies this week, so I thought I'd play a song for people who enjoy the work of Deep Purple.
That run and run.
Here's Deep Purple. See you next week.
Bye. Letter to Hermione. David Bowie off Space Oddity album. XFM 104.9. See, I don't know where... I thought you'd sort of learnt a little bit, Carl, what is an interesting fact and what might just be a mentalist online. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what point we're making here? Why the truth is so much more even a little bit... even something that's just, you know, mild, but is definitely the truth, is so much more interesting than just wish fulfillment of truth. To me, if it starts with there was this ghost, right, it's not interesting. You could say anything. There was this ghost that could turn custard into wine. It doesn't matter. There was this ghost that had 9 heads. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. There was this
You know, Carl's looking at you going, there's a ghost that can turn custard into wine.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you say after that. There's a ghost that can swallow alligators whole. The premise means it's not true to me. Do you know what I mean? It's like people say, you know what, God, right, he's incredible, I'll stop you there. The fact that he can make the earth in 7 days, well, you've lost me already. Do you know what I mean? Whereas someone says something like, you know, a cockroach can live 5 days without a head, that's interesting. That's interesting.
Right.
Do you think when you die, they say, you're a ghost, this is going to amaze you. You can go and you can spook people out.
Yeah.
Do you like custard?
Yeah.
Come over here.
No. Well, if you don't, you don't. Do you like wine? Of course I do. Oh, you are going to love it.
You're going to love being
You're
dead.
gonna
I'm a
love
bit
it,
annoyed.
yeah.
I've lost all my loved ones.
Yeah. Do you see what I mean? It's what your sort of beliefs are based on. Mine are sort of on, I suppose, logic and science. And
So
but I'm
what-
amazed by the world and
So the Iceman, why does that amaze you? What's like, ooh...
well, they found some part of our preserved past. You know, it's interesting. Again, I'm amazed by anthropology and evolution.
Yeah.
Go
It's
on.
just that line on its own like that, you know, they found an Iceman is great, but then it went on, and it's going on about, you know, they've had to get different people involved to find out how old it was. Because first of all, the story started off, right, an old fellow on holiday somewhere, where did they find it, in Sweden or something? And he was walking in the hills, and...
He was walking
in the hills.
in heels. Was he a transvestite?
in the mountains.
Oh, right.
In the hills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's walking about, and he sees this body in the snow, and he thinks, oh. So he calls the police up, and they come and have a look, and he goes, oh yeah, it's probably a murder. So then they dig it up and find out he's got hold of a spear in his hand.
Right, and he's dressed like Fred Flintstone.
Yeah.
Right.
Then they realise it's probably not a recent murder.
Right.
His knuckles are dragging on the floor. He's
Yeah.
a Neanderthal man. They
Yeah.
think, hang on, Karl Pilkington.
But when they found out, hang on, it's an old thing.
It's an old thing!
Can it? If it was a murder recent, then you'd go, hang on, how did this happen? Who does he belong to?
Yeah.
Well, the chances are whoever murdered him is also dead.
5,000 years ago, probably, yeah.
So leave it. Just bury it.
I don't think it's a murder investigation.
No, but they are.
It's not Quincy going, this was before my time.
It's not a murder investigation.
Yeah,
Just one thing bothers me, sir. Just one final thing. My wife loves you, but this guy.
That's how they were
Why
treating
would
it.
he have a spear
Yeah.
and a leopard skin? I just can't. I can't get over this.
What are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying.
What are you saying? Right, shut up everybody. What are you saying? You've got one chance now. You've got to ask me a question, and I will answer it the best way. But what are you saying?
I'm
What is your
saying,
question?
Right, he probably spent a load of money.
That's
trying
not
to
a
sort
question.
out-
That's not a
Yeah,
question.
but let me tell you what I'm saying, right? They're probably spending a load of money finding out stuff about this fella who died. And even if he wasn't murdered, he'd be dead by now anyway. So get over it, right? 3,000 years ago, he died, right? So then they start messing about with it, saying, well, how did he die? Well, it doesn't matter. It was ages ago. Then they start digging his belly open, seeing last meal that he ate.
Yeah.
Oh, he ate seeds and leaves. Well, no surprise, really. There's now else around. Again, spending more money. Someone's been paid money to sort that out. Then they bury him, and then said, hang on a minute, are you sure that he died by, like, a spear? Let's dig him up again. So they dig him up again, and find some splinter or
Sorry,
something.
I don't believe they buried him.
They did. Well, in some sort of fancy coffin so everyone can see him. But for me, that is more wasteful than sorting out something that's, you know, like someone who's ill. Sort something out, you know.
Sorry, it's not either or. They didn't put a doctor out of surgery.
Exactly. There's
working-
not an old man in a bed in a
Yeah,
corridor somewhere.
yeah. They
going,
go, Ted, what are you doing?
stomach."
I'm just giving this bloke a stat clear. No, look, we found an old fella in a skit. Okay, okay, you
Yeah.
take over. It's not either or, Carl. What are you talking about? It's scientific research.
But don't you see why this is fascinating? It gives us an insight into how we lived 3,000, 5,000 years ago. That's an incredible historical document.
What if it was your equivalent? What if he was like the Carl of the time, and there's people, you know, ghosts now through there going, "Oh God, I don't believe it. They've dug up Carl. They think we're all like that. Oh no, oh no, they're going into his brain now. They're looking at how his brain works. We're going to get such a bad rep. Oh
Well,
dear,
each to their own. If you like it, I just thought it was a bit of a
waste of money.
a little bit of a waste.
Yeah, okay.
But there you go. Anyway, we'll give out the answers to Rockbusters next.
If we
Yeah.
must.
Yeah.
It sometimes stuns me. Sometimes I'm taken aback. Do you know what I mean?
But what worries me is if one day aliens do visit
I'd love
and
that.
they come down, yeah. But what worries me is they might bump in. What if they bump into you? What if they bump into you and they think that you represent mankind?
And they go up and they start another planet.
They say,
Oh.
we'll ask you 3 questions, and if you answer them correctly, we will not blow up your planet.
Yeah.
We'd be doomed.
It depends.
It depends. Well, they ask you, don't they? What if they said, right, Carl, what's the weirdest thing ever found in China?
I say hairy Chinese kid.
And they go, right,
Okay, interesting.
do all right.
What don't you see anymore?
What do you see an old bloke doing?
Don't see an old fella eating a Twix.
Yeah. And they say, what if they asked you, what's across the road from you when you're washing up?
Well, there's 3 things. Do you just want one of them?
No,
Yeah.
I want all 3.
You want all 3? There was a Chinese kid dancing about in his underpants.
Yeah.
There was a bouncer every
Yeah.
night getting ready to go to work. And the third one, the old woman reading a book, the same book.
And they
every
go,
night.
right, your planet's saved. See,
Gorg, back in the ship.
Yeah,
they are
we-
a superior race.
Do you believe in sort of like extrasensory sort of perception and stuff, Carl?
Ghosts and that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
Not ghosts, no, the fact that people maybe can sense, beings.
There was a woman in on the Christian's breakfast show, right?
Yeah.
Blind woman.
Right.
Clairvoyant.
Is that her name?
Forgot. But she was a bit useless.
She's a bit useless.
I'm always worried about what's going to come out of
I'm
Karl's
worried
mouth.
what you mean. What?
Do you know what I mean?
She's a bit rubbish at being a clairvoyant.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I think if you're not that good at something, don't go on the radio and do it.
Carl, you better leave.
So, what... Sorry.
Well, she was saying,
So
like,
what was the relevance of her being blind? What was that for? What did you
I
tell me?
just thought it was a bit weird. I think she was using that because the fact that she can't see living people, but she can contact the dead ones.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
a
so
bit-
sorry, this is XFM
No, but I'm
104.9.
just not
Once
listening to you.
again, Karl's opinions do not necessarily reflect anyone.
Those of any human
and
being.
any other person alive today.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Carl,
but
so
listen-
how did she demonstrate her clairvoyance,
she
and why was it not very convincing?
She was sat in the chair you're at, right? And people called up and
I
said...
sensed that.
Weird.
They called up and they said, right, can you have a word with me gran?
Yeah.
And she goes, yeah, she's dead, isn't she? And it's like, yeah. He goes, oh, and everyone's like, oh, she knows her stuff.
It was 50-50 to be fair.
Yeah, and especially with a gran, because the person sounded about 35, so the chances are
Yeah.
they haven't got a gran anymore.
Yeah.
And it was just
Unless
stuff
it's the
like,
fellas from Busted, because they, in the year 3000, they've only got to a great-great-granddaughter, and that's 1,000 years, so presumably, you know, they can live a lot longer.
yeah. I just wasn't convinced anyway. I don't want to diss her, because, you know, she came in and she did her stuff, and if people believe in it, I'm not going to put it down, but it just was a little bit
You
odd.
believe in it! You just think she didn't have the real power, as opposed to it being rubbish.
No, whatever. But yeah, I don't know what we were talking about there. So we've got the film thing going.
I don't know what we were talking
The
about.
film.
Brilliant. I love that. That's like a ride song or something. That's my favourite one.
Ride-ish.
Ride-ish. Feeder. Just the way I'm feeding. On XFM 104.9.
Rick, quick question for you.
Go
I'm
on.
thinking, a lot of people maybe are tuning in for the first time because of the advertising campaign.
Sure.
Should we reintroduce Karl again? I know we've done this a few times in the past, but just worried that people are going to not really kind of get the measure of him.
I'm Ricky Gervais. I'm the one off The Office.
Yeah.
Steve Merchant. He's not the one in The Office. He's not Gareth. Some people think he is. He's got a funny, weird West Country accent that actually Mackenzie was affecting for the role. Steve wrote it with me. He's the tall, lanky fella. Karl is our sort of, I say producer, but he's the one that pressed the buttons because I was
Dog's Body.
Yeah, but I mean, it was just because I was too big to run the desk.
Yeah. Too
Like
important,
I used to have to do.
Literally too big. You couldn't get behind it.
Yeah, and then we discovered that, you know, he looked a bit like a boring sort of, alright, yeah, but then when we sort of, you know, poked him with a stick, he came up with, he doesn't realise, but some of I think, some of the funniest
extraordinary things I've ever heard.
Say hello, Karl.
Alright.
Yeah,
Well, classics, I think, so far, that have gone straight to the list include, have you ever used a Y front correctly?
yeah.
Brilliant.
You never see an old person
Eating a Twix.
in a Twix.
That's,
These are sort of things.
extraordinary
He's
things.
back on his campaign to get rid of jellyfish. Why is that, Karl?
Oh, did you see the paper yesterday?
Go on.
There's a jellyfish, right? It's about 15 foot long, about 5 foot wide, and there's a fella swimming next to it, and the paper's going, oh, look at this we've found, there's loads of them in Japan.
Yeah.
And it's because the water's getting hot, so it's making jellyfish really big.
Oh dear. How's the campaign going to get jellyfish get rid of them?
What was your point about jellyfish? They don't do anything.
There's no point, they get in the way,
jellyfish, yeah.
it ruined me holiday, because I got stung by one.
Yeah.
But you think the same thing about Liverpudlians, and we can't just go around, you know, wiping out things that ruin
Well,
your
let's do
holiday.
the jellyfish first, and then we'll move on to the scousers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what they do, and I'm trying to look on the internet. I've been busy this week.
You're jellyfish now, not scousers.
Yeah.
You know what
Look on
I don't know what they do either.
to sort of try and work out what would happen with the sea if it didn't work, because they say, like, if there's
What?
no...
Slow down.
See, there, Scott, this is what we're talking about. People who listen for the first time, they've got to listen to every word you say. You want to find out what would happen with the sea if it didn't work?
If jellyfish weren't in there, do you know what I mean? Because stuff like coral, apparently the sea would be in a right state if you didn't have any coral in it. If fish, do you know what I mean? I always worry about how many fish we're sort of eating. Because you go past...
Sorry?
No, do you know, like, you go in Marks and Spencer's or Selfridges...
There's loads of fish in there.
And there's really fancy stuff that you think they've killed that, and it looks good on the counter, pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But is anyone going to buy it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's a big, like, a shark sat in ice.
Yeah.
And you go, yeah, they've got like a lot of fish for
Sure, you
sale.
won't go around the Tate Gallery.
No, do you know what I mean? In
I've
Selfridges
never
and-
seen a big shark sat
Yeah.
in ice in Selfridges.
They do it, and it's like you go in the morning and you can go back at night, and the same shark sat there, and it's.
So you know it's the same shark, do
It's
you?
the same one.
What, same face?
Are you sure he just hasn't lost his mum? And he's just like, he went shopping with her Christmas shopping, and he's just like, he's stranded, he don't know where, he's just waiting.
You know I'm right.
I've never seen a shark in Selfridges.
Well, all right then. Say maybe that's one day a week, but on other days they'll have like.
Shark Monday. I think,
Monday, yeah.
Selfridges. Today at Selfridges is Shark Monday. Yeah.
No, it's just that.
So your point is that there's all these fish not being eaten,
Yeah. So
and
they
they're being killed.
They're taking them out of the sea. No one's eating them.
and you're worried, what, that the sea's going to rise because the more things you take out?
Well, we're just going to run out.
Because the fish drink it, don't they? And that keeps the water level down.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
well, you know what I mean. There's stuff
Was it you
that
who
worries
said
me.
you're worried that? Was it you who said that you were worried that because there's sponge in the sea,
Yeah.
but if they took it all away,
No.
like, was it? Is that him?
That's a Stephen Wright
Is
joke.
that Stephen Wright? What was the joke?
Sponges grow in the sea. That kills me. How deep would it be if they didn't? I love the fact that he confused you with Stephen Wright, who for a living purposely says ridiculous things.
Yeah.
Does that worry you, Carl?
Well, think about that and play a record.
What do you want? What do you want?
I'd love to a classic, a beautiful song by Simon and Garfunkel, April Comes She Will. Right.
I haven't really had time to check it out this week.
No, you're
Been-
joking.
Been busy.
Ooh, I
Been
hope
busy.
it's not stupid.
Goes back to 1908, and the person saying it's a good story and that, and they're surprised they haven't picked up on it yet, right? The Olympics, right? In 1908 in London. Apparently, it was meant to happen in Italy, but it was cancelled. Don't know why, right? And it happened in London. Anyway, 400 metres. Right, it was meant to. There was a fella who was going to do the run, right, and the favourite to win it was this Bulgarian guy, right? Who was like a newcomer.
Okay, these are a few things it cannot be. One, he injures himself, so a monkey steps in and wins. Two, he does a drugs test, it turns out that he is a monkey. So if it's either of those, right, I'm going to go mad.
So anyway, so the fella, right, this favourite, everyone's putting the money on him, thinking, yeah, he's going to do it. Gonna
Is he
put the nice
hairy?
little-
Is this bloke hairy?
So anyway, so the race happens,
Yeah.
and everybody's lined up, ready to run. And, everyone's saying, yeah, he's going to win, he's going to win. Then suddenly, bit of murmuring going on, people going, oh, what's going on here?
Right. He's eating a bananas.
And there's a fella in the lane next to him,
Yeah.
right, it's going up. Who's that? He doesn't look familiar,
Oh, Christ, Carl.
Keep going.
right? Doesn't look familiar. Who's he?
Weird,
What's
weird,
going on?
isn't it?
What's going on? What's
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah, what is it? What is it? Or who is it? I mean, not what is it?
So they go in. So they say, well, he might not be that any good. Do you know what I mean? He might not be good. He might. It's just.
Bit short, and
Doesn't matter.
he's only 3'6", and he's hunched over on his knuckles. So
I didn't realise it was fancy dress.
So
I
anyway,
don't think he's going to be any good.
So the race
Oh, he's
starts.
put his finger up his arse. That's weird for a runner to do that before a race. It's weird, isn't it? Yeah.
Race starts.
Yeah.
The fella that no one recognises wins it. People go, what's gone on here?
Yeah, sure.
Do you know what I mean? We had
Yeah.
our money on the favourite. What's gone on? Who is this guy?
Yeah.
Anyway, he stood up there, right? He's looking well happy.
Yeah.
He's lifting the trophy and everything.
Right.
Right?
Long arms. That trophy's higher than...
So anyway,
He's only 3 foot, but the trophy's 9 foot in the air with those long arms. It's I'm suspicious. Go on.
they had the picture in the paper the next day,
Sure.
and everyone's going, yeah, he was fast and everything, but quite hairy for a runner.
Oh, I'll tell you
Come
what,
on,
Carl.
come on.
Quite
It's
airy for a runner, because
ridiculous.
normally they shave themselves, don't they, to make them faster. And
No.
they're going, how did he manage it? It's really airy and that. So anyway, he wins the stuff, he walks away with a cup. The people who are in charge of the running, or like the Olympic Committee, look further into it. Turns out it was a chimp.
Right, keep talking.
No,
Right.
don't keep talking. Why
Shut up.
encourage him?
Shut up. This is monkey news. If you can't handle the news...
It's news from 1909, and I haven't heard about a chimp winning the Olympics.
Right, be quiet.
What happened there, then?
400 metres, right? Now, the
Don't
thing is,
talk shit.
the annoying
Please,
thing was,
Ricky.
it took so long for the Olympic Committee, right, to find out that it was a monkey. It was going going manic. It went into loads of races. It was picking up loads of, like...
Oh, shut up!
It
right?
became a celebrity. It was doing endorsements on TV.
Don't talk shit.
It said he managed to win the
Right.
same race 4 years later in Athens because...
How did he get to
Well,
Athens?
it's a joke. They're winding you up, Carl.
Weird.
It's not weird. It's
isn't
right. I do not believe it. Well, that's okay. There's only 3 of them to go then. Right, because we're probably all leaving in 4 weeks' time, and that's the end, I've got to get onto a sort of mainstream radio station, because I don't think there's any other sort of tin pot place like this, is there?
No.
So I'm going to clear up my act a little bit. I've got an album from the Capitol Radio Library, and it's the best punk album in the world ever, so if Capitol are listening, I'm just going to show that I can do a mainstream. I'm going to play a classic song and I'm going to announce it right and everything. So
if you get a job on a decent station, you'll take me with you, will you?
We're a pair.
Brilliant.
So, okay, here we go, right. If anyone's listening, just to show that I can do mainstream radio, okay? Well, that's all. Okay.
Well, you're getting nervous. You're getting nervous. So come on. Shall I get a monkey and do it?
It's alright. Okay. Well, that's about all there is time for today. You've been listening to Ricky Gervais with me, Stephen Merchant. Across the way, K-Man Pilkers. We're going all the way back now, a classic song from the late 1970s, and this is Devo with Mongoloid. Badly Drawn Boy, Born Again on XFM 104.9. Here we are then. Ricky Gervais, with me, Steve Merchant, and Karl Pilkington, raring to go. He's a bit grumpy, Karl. Woken up at 8 o'clock.
Because he's from the north.
Yeah, because he's in London.
Yeah.
And London's rubbish, right, isn't it? Oh. Where can you can't even get a Band-Aid in London, can you? Or grouting. In Manchester, I could walk to the next shop and definitely get some Flash, or maybe some Vim. You can't get it down here. You got to go to a trendy bistro, haven't you? Karl, why are you grumpy?
I told you before, I'm just a little bit tired today.
Because he had to get up, but the builders next door woke him up.
No.
He's always going about his hours. Those builders probably got up at 6.
Yeah, but
to get
I can
there
understand builders who get up early because they're building outside and they've got to get the job done before it gets dark. But he's working in someone's lounge. If it gets dark, put the light on. It's not a problem. So why is he starting work at like 7 o'clock in the morning?
Well, because builders get paid by the day, and if you get a builder there and go, I'll just do 11 till 3, he's not going to go, I tell you what, love, just give me 40 quid. I didn't do a whole day. It's a day's work, isn't it? So you want to get the most out of them, don't you?
Plus, he probably wants to finish early so he can have a good night out.
Yeah, it's a Saturday night, you know what I mean? He wants to...
Yeah, he wants to get at least 15 pints in.
And he was cheery, I bet he was whistling and, you know, dancing around and tapping, you know, so I don't know how you can be annoyed at that. Why don't you get earplugs?
I don't like it, the idea of earplugs.
Why?
Because I live in a flat, so it's not as if I'm looking after my house, right?
Already, I've lost you.
No.
That wasn't even a whole sentence and I don't know what you're talking about.
No, but what I mean is...
What?
If you live in a house, right, you know that you've turned the lights off downstairs, you know you haven't got a frying pan on, right?
Right.
Okay,
So,
not really.
Keep him going.
But I live in a flat, and I don't know what the other people are like. There might be some daft people in there who
Cool,
don't,
imagine that.
right, who don't turn stuff off. Now, if I have earplugs and the fire alarm's going off, I'm not going to hear it. I'm going to have a good sleep, but who knows what could happen? So I don't like earplugs. It's not safe.
Okay.
If you live in a block of flats.
But I think you'll find, because I've used them, I think you'll find that a fire alarm will cut through
I wear them
the earplugs.
sometimes if it's noisy or I want to go to bed early or something, and I hear my alarm clock, and it goes beep, 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 beep. It's
All
that
right,
loud.
okay, well,
and a fire alarm is deafening.
Alright, so we've talked in the past about snails who sleep for 13 years.
No, you have. That's never been confirmed. In fact, the expert hadn't heard of it.
Well, they do.
Okay.
I read it on different sites.
Okay.
So how much does it take to wake them up? Got you.
What do you mean?
Well, they sleep for 13 years.
Yeah, but it's probably. But I don't know what you mean by sleep. It's not the same sort of pattern that we have in a mollusk, is it? There's different. What is sleep? It's
when you're sort of shut down, and
But they can estivate. They can actually literally
no,
shut
but they didn't
down.
say
like,
that. They said they sleep for 13 years. And I mean, have you ever had like more than 10 hours sleep?
Yeah.
Feel really groggy.
Well, no, I feel good after 10 hours sleep.
I feel rough. I just was thinking what a snail would be like. Be like, oh.
Be even slower than normal.
Be even slower than you. Play a record.
Well, anyway.
Email in if you know what on earth Carl's talking about.
Ever.
Don't erase none of that good shit.
Right.
Songs of phrase coming soon.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it this week? What's the phrase?
We're remember the story I told you ages ago about my neighbour having a horse in their house.
Oh yeah.
Having a horse. Yeah, a horse.
What's happened with that? Lenny Henry doing it as a series.
So,
People nicking your ideas left, right and centre.
well, that's the phrase we'll be using anyway.
What?
My neighbour had a horse in her house.
How many words is that?
6.
My neighbour had... So, there's no grammar either. My neighbour had horse in the house. My neighbour had horse in house. What is the phrase?
My neighbour had a horse in her house.
Are there any
Let's wait till we
prepositions?
hear
Are
it.
there any prepositions in this sentence?
Look, don't judge it beforehand. You see, I'm
Okay.
turning over a new leaf. I think this is a great idea. I think Carl's a genius, and I look forward to hearing this enormously.
Yeah, okay, and I won't be sick on your leg, or squeeze your head, or make you jump when you're making a cup of tea. What have we got then? That's that.
Right.
That's the silliest side now. Let's get on with the proper show.
Right, song's a phrase.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
redo that.
On to the classy stuff.
Yeah. Do you want to do the prizes first?
Right, now then, where are they? Here they are. I haven't seen these, but I'm excited as ever. Alright, we have a t-shirt there, arbitrary t-shirt that you have probably stolen off of someone. What does it say? Is it the Red Hot Chili Peppers? So if
Oh,
you're a
that's
fan of
all right.
that, that's not too bad. There's a big t-shirt there. On DVD list, should you be giving this away? This looks like it's the film Don't Say a Word.
Yeah.
And it's, it doesn't have all the proper packaging, it's literally the disc, the DVD disc, just loose. So enjoy that. The current album from Oasis, Heathen Chemistry, DVD, on DVD, The Life of Mammals, the complete series, the David Attenborough recent DVD, that. Walking with Cavemen, which I think is a DVD, it's currently on TV, isn't it? And,
Well, there you go.
and
Not
also
bad.
the X-List, which is a good new compilation, double CD compilation from XFM with loads of stuff on there, including Nerd, Snoop Doggy Dogg, Athlete, all sorts.
Go on then, Carl.
So not bad, actually, simple
Nice
stuff.
one. Well done.
Right, so, yeah, it's a phrase that's been said at some point, or said a lot on the show. We've had, like, Hairy Chinese Kid. We went back to, my mum had wind for 5 minutes and that. Today we're looking at, my neighbour had a horse in a house, right?
Yep.
If you remember, we were talking about that probably about a year and a half ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course,
Right.
people remember. They've been talking about it ever since, Carl, I imagine.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
it's famous. It's a world famous phrase. My neighbour had a horse in her house.
right, so this is this week's Song's a Phrase, and what I've done is I've got songs with those words in that make up that sentence.
Yeah.
You got to email in ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. There's 6 different songs, right? You email in with what?
I don't know. There is 6. Me neighbour had horse in house. Is it really that sentence?
My neighbour had a horse in her house. It does work. Honestly, it works.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Don't bother explaining it.
Are you
Just
ready?
play it.
Right.
Yeah.
So here's the. Here it is.
We're just going to do the head horse in a house.
Right.
What in God's name was that?
Yeah. Name the 6 songs.
Head horse in a house.
Huh?
Are we naming the artists or the songs?
Either.
Artists.
Anyone
will
who
be-
gets anything can get a prize.
What's
jeez.
more, Carl?
Artists. Here we go.
Head horse in a house. That's tricky, Carl. That's very hard. Once more. Head horse in a house.
Email in ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. I'll give it.
Another
give it one.
letdown.
Give it
Another
one more.
letdown.
It's brilliant. This.
No.
How
No.
can you just say that after I've just been stuffing grapes in my face and
Well,
that?
you failed. You didn't get one burger in, right? Even when you tried to chop it up, there's 3, right? So that's it. Steve, out the goodness of his heart, went to McDonald's. Okay, I got some grapes. You at 62.
That's got nothing to do with this, though. This is my game show here. Bob Holness didn't say, yeah, Blockbusters is good, but I never see him eating grapes. So this is a different thing. Forget that. Right? Here's the clips again. Here's the clips.
Head horse in a house. Oh, you know I said I was going to turn over a new leaf and not criticise your ideas? I think it's the end of this one, mate.
Oh, he's done it again.
It's atrocious. Ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk if you've got any idea. We should give the prizes away.
Yeah, well,
Carl.
this has been dreadful. This thing. We started off well with him trying to put 4 burgers in his mouth, and then he'd come up with this tat. I mean, this is the end of this because it's. I mean, it was shoddy to start with. Now let it do a couple. Well, this is not only.
I'm just saying. This is what I was saying in the pub yesterday when you tried to be sick on my leg. I was saying, come up with new ideas if you don't like them, but you diss them on air.
Well, it's just disappointing, isn't it? And neighbour.
Right.
What's that?
I was disappointed when I was choking before.
We were disappointed as well.
Yeah, you didn't try. You didn't try with the grapes. You were just like
Right.
chewing on that. You meant to just throw them in and swallow them.
Songs of Phrase, it was 6 songs. It
Yeah,
sounded like this.
boring. Right, what are they? Just give you
6
answers.
songs there. We had Lionel Richie, My Destiny, for My.
Tricky.
Neighbour.
Oh, that's XFM. Ooh.
My Neighbour was
Space.
Space,
Yeah.
Neighbourhood. Had Harry Connick Jr. Had to Be You.
Yeah.
Right.
Had Your Neighbour had A Horse.
Horse from
America.
America, yeah.
Had a horse.
In the hand.
In was Lisa Stansfield with
Pathetic.
In All the Right Places.
Oh, pathetic. Did anyone get that? Did anyone get that?
And
no
A
one
House
got
No one
from
got that.
Animals.
So that was pointless.
All right. Well,
Well, that's
the most anyone got was 3,
Yeah.
and we're going to give it to Deborah, and that's
Yeah.
possibly Deborah and Kate. They got
Right.
at least 3 of those. So well
Okay,
done. Deb.
well done. Yeah, there's prizes on the way. That's the end of that. Black Rebel Motorcycle Club. Stop. On XFM. 104.9. I reckon we could run it for a week, just to do a few
Would you
little
want to
things.
bother though? I mean,
No, but I mean, just like, you know, have a look at the playlist a little bit. Get us some.
another phrase, polishing a turd. I think that's just another one that springs to mind.
You like to say that, Carl?
What, turd?
Yeah.
I think so. That's
Well,
alright.
you said it, so you're the producer.
Yeah, that's alright.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I've got it together. Capital.
Oh, no, that's a classy station.
I came in the week to just check Carl out if he was here. He wasn't. He was out for about an hour or so. And I heard in the lift, I don't know what DJ it was on, he just went and he was talking about that little girl, Summer, who went missing, but then she was just found reading a book. And I swear, right, I swear, he went, and there's a lovely, lovely picture of her there, just reading a book. So, what a happy ending. It's a shame they don't all end like that.
Oh, God.
And he played a record.
What's his point?
Unbelievable.
What's that?
I don't know.
It's those people who think that they're being a little bit philosophical, a bit profound.
And then just everyone goes,
Thanks very much.
yeah.
I noticed in the story of Summer, the little girl that went missing, I don't know if you read that it mentioned her family. Now, it mentioned the father of the house. I don't know if it's her father or certainly the guy, the parent, the male parent. And it was something like, I think, I don't want to, libel him, but it was something like Paul, 24, and he's a graphic designer, recently changed his name to Dragon. I just wonder what exactly is that? How is he, her family is that, really?
Yeah.
I don't want to...
I'm always a little bit worried about people who change their
Well,
name to
adults, certainly.
something really, really cool.
Yeah.
Because, Kevin Smethurst isn't, it's not sexy enough.
Exactly.
So I call myself Clint Iron.
Yeah.
What would you call yourself? Karl Pilkington, nothing wrong with that. It's quite a superhero's name. It's Pilkington.
When I was about 7, I wanted to be called Brett.
Yes. I
Why
can see
Brett
why.
I
particularly?
don't know, I just had a mate who was called Brett, and I thought, that sounds good, it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, I'm quite happy with my name now.
Because Carl, I have to say,
Carl with a K.
where does that come from, Carl? Because it's quite a rare name.
Told you, didn't I? My mum had a dream.
I forget this. What? Your mother had a dream?
She wasn't well, she had pneumonia or something, right?
Dear.
And, she had this dream while she was pregnant. That some doctor, sort of, she was going off to another place, she was going to die or something, and this doctor went, I can sort this out, I know what to do here. And she remembers on his name badge, she said Carl.
Really?
So when she had me, she said, right,
Call him Carl.
Dr. Carl.
Calling Dr. Pilkington. Calling Dr. Pilkington.
She hoped, I imagine, that you'd grow up to be like him in every way.
I've
Saving
done alright, I've
lives.
done alright for myself, I think.
Sure.
I'm alright.
Yeah.
This is what we were talking about, actually, weren't we? We were talking about the fact that you're quite proud of the fact that you've got no formal education, really, and yet you've pulled yourself up from the bootstraps.
Yeah, well,
Fantastic.
I know people who've got results from that and don't do anything.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
They're on the streets.
So I've used all my energy as I've got older rather than burning myself out as a kid. Do
Right, yeah.
you know what I mean?
Sure.
So I don't know if that's advice.
Is that, should we advise that to young kids out there?
Don't take exams, don't work at school, just, move away from Manchester and get a job on XFM.
They'll employ anyone.
Yeah, you get an hour's lunch break, you're away by 5:45.
You need
And,
you need no qualifications to
And
work for XFM.
because you don't have to think for yourself, because your boss tells you what to do, you can have some time off to go shopping for hobs and shower units.
He's alright, he's a good boss.
Yeah, I know.
He'll let me have next Saturday off. Oh, he knows how tired I am.
How many Saturdays has he had off? He's going away again. I mean, he's had 2 holidays. He gets 26 holidays, 6 days a year. 26 days a year. It's unbelievable. He was sick because he put on wet trousers.
Yeah.
And now you're going down to Hastings. Are you leaving early? Because you left early last time, didn't you?
No, I won't do that again.
Now, what are you going to Hastings for?
Just having a break. Listen, though, we were talking about depressing news, right? And with that kid and what have you.
Yeah.
You see that thing in the week? There was 3 bits of depressing news, right? There was one, an old woman who swallowed a fork.
An old woman who swallowed a fork?
Yeah, did you see
She's
that?
dead, the dork.
An old woman swallowed a fork, so what did she swallowed a spoon?
Why did she... Yeah, everyone knows she swallowed a spoon. Yeah, when she swallowed a spoon.
What's her name? She, swallowed a cockroach. Right.
Sorry, whoa, is this the old rhyme
Sorry,
now?
is this a rhyme that you've got slightly wrong?
No,
You've changed
what
dog for fork.
This is the truth, is it? This is what you read?
Oh, no, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, never confuse the two. This is what you read on a spurious website,
So
or some mentalist
No, hang on, sorry,
emailed you.
just before you move on from that, there was an old woman who swallowed a cockroach.
Yeah.
And in order to get the cockroach out, she swallowed a fork?
It doesn't rhyme, but it's good.
She tries to get it out.
With a fork?
She went, what I forgot? I'm thinking she's in the kitchen.
Yeah.
That'll do. She grabs that, she tries to get it out, and she lets go of it. And it goes,
swallows a fork?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was in the paper.
The terrible thing was, it was a gardening fork. it was awful, you know. Or is that stupid? That'd be stupid if it was a gardening fork, wouldn't it?
I'll tell you what annoys me, though, with things like that. 'Cause in the paper, it was what you do, and everyone knows that. Honestly, no. Right? You do me head in. The way people say it must be great working with him. Must be brilliant.
No one
It's not,
says
it's a
that.
nightmare. It is a nightmare.
Get on with it. Go on
I
with
can't be bothered now, let's just close on.
Because I'm interested. I'm interested.
Yeah.
Seriously, I am.
Come
What was
back
the
after
story?
this.
No, let me finish the story. Come on.
Long links.
I'll tell you in a bit, 'cause
I'm getting annoyed. I'm getting so angry.
Alright, either play a record or finish. And Lucky Man, that's for Karl, who is a lucky man. 2 hours every Saturday here. Just a little bit of chat and laughter. Some great records. Alright? What are you going to Hastings for? Just to chill out?
yeah,
What are you going to do?
just chill out.
What specifically is in Hastings that's of interest to you? They having another battle?
Nothing, it's just cheap, isn't it? If you can get a B&B for about 40 quid.
Sure.
The weather's good, so
Well, let's all go.
why not?
Yeah, why not? Do you want Ricky to come down with you?
Now.
Right, okay.
Now, you were going to tell us something before we started winding you up.
What were we talking about?
We were talking about the old man who was mistaken for a small child.
It was actually, the 70-year-old who they thought was underage.
Right, so then we got on to, right, so the old woman, I was saying, she ate a cockroach. Right?
She ate a cockroach, yes,
Yeah.
by mistake. How did she eat a cockroach? Why was there a
She was
cockroach?
cleaning up, she was cleaning up, it jumped in her mouth. Right.
So she immediately, the first thing she did was immediately grab a fork and plunge that down her throat.
Yeah.
Well, no, maybe not immediately. I mean, she tried other methods. She tried plastic spoons, her fingers, maybe washing it out, maybe going, oh, I nearly swallowed a cockroach. Did she try that one? Ugh, how horrible.
Right, so anyway, the fork went down,
Yes.
and it's got this picture in the paper of, like, the X-ray, and you can see the fork just, like, going across like that.
Yeah. Wow.
That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it was... where the fork was in her abdomen, was it? In an X-ray?
Yeah.
Are you sure she swallowed it?
Yeah.
Sure she didn't just say that to the doctor? Like, how did it get in there? Have you got a fork inside you?
No, I know what you're getting at, because I remember years ago, do you know Dr. Steele?
Do I know Dr. Steele?
Yeah, on, he does...
Is he a
it him?
superhero?
The one on, Richard and Judy.
Right, what's he, a psychiatrist or the
He
resident
just
doctor?
pops in and
Is
they've
that
got
the
a
sort of
problem.
like the suave sort of...
He's not that smart.
I know what
He's
you mean,
just,
yeah,
just a normal doctor fella.
Sure.
And, yeah, this was like in the 90s, and, Rich and Judy said, we got the doctor in again today. We're looking at things that, you know, have been inside people. And there's this one, right? A fella comes on, with an X-ray.
Yeah.
It's sat on a pint glass.
He
Well,
sat on a pint
Well,
glass.
Yeah.
that's what.
he hadn't, had
That's what
he?
he said.
Sat on a pint glass.
I remember that story that was published about the bloke, and this is the excuse he gave to a doctor when he had to go and have something removed. It was a bottle of sort of HB sauce or something up his. What word can we say in case Andrew's
So you
listening?
don't need to, you know, people know what you're saying.
Okay.
Right.
Rectum. Is that all right?
Well, you didn't need to say it, but...
Well, no, he might as well. It's a medical term, isn't it? Doctors
Anyway.
say rectum, don't they?
Anyway,
So the doctor got it out, and the excuse he said he'd been shopping, been to Safeways, he brought his shopping home, and he popped the shopping on the front step, and he realised he's locked himself out. So he started to shimmy up the drain pipe, but his trousers and pants fell down while he was climbing, and he slipped and fell on the HB sauce bottle, right? And that was the note thing, right? And the doctor had put at the bottom on his notes, this would be somewhat more believable if Safeway sold their HP sauce with condoms already attached.
right, well, I
God.
would be bizarre.
Why did he put a condom on it?
No idea.
To use it again on his chips. So he didn't just buy it to have a quick, you know.
Yeah.
He thought, well, I don't want to waste HB sauce.
Sure.
I mean, I use it up the arse, then have it on the chips.
Safe sauce. I always practice safe sauce. Always have safe sauce. This is on XFM 104.9 Holiday Song.
You're talking about people coming round and just banging the boiler and charging 90 quid. I think it was last Christmas. We had a dripping tap, right? And it started off just dripping a little bit. And then after a cut, I thought, you know, we'd get that sorted out. And we couldn't actually turn the tap. It was just solid where the washer had gone. And then over Christmas, like before Christmas, it just started flowing. It was just like on, and I was thinking, this is terrible. It was terrible waste. It was the hot tap, and of course the caretaker going away. Everything had been closed down, so I called out an emergency plumber. Christmas,
Yeah.
right? He couldn't get it to turn the tap off, right? So he was trying, and in the end he said, well, what I could do is I could just squash the pipe. Right, cut the pipe, squash it, and then you could change the whole thing. I'm like, yeah, whatever, right, because I can't have this, I guess. So, he said, I've got to go to the van, and he got this tool, came up to squash the pipe. He was only a young lad, right? Wasn't strong enough. So I had to help him squash the pipe.
Right.
He squashed the pipe, cut it, put a little nozzle on it, you know, just to seal it, right? And I was 180 quid.
180 quid.
And I wanted to say, surely that's half mine.
Yeah.
I helped it, and I was sort of being sarcastic. When Johnny was there, I was going, how much was that tool? He went, oh, it was really about 9 quid. I went, it pays for itself, innit?
Yeah.
And I was going, can I get one of them? He was going, yeah, get them anywhere. Obviously,
Yeah.
didn't it? And then he went, I wrote a cheque for 180 quid, and he went, oh, I didn't charge you for the nozzle on the end. I went, no. He went, I said, how much is that then? He said, £2.50. So I can leave you cash for that. £2.50. £182.50.
So he hadn't even really sorted the problem out.
But what can you do? What can you do? You know, he wasn't ripping me off. That's the prices.
Yeah.
He's not going to go, I'll tell you what, mate, because you helped me, call it quits.
Yeah.
Just buy me lunch. It's
Yeah.
not going to happen.
Yeah.
My mate was locked out of his flat once, and he went out and shut the door behind him, and that was it. And he'd looked through a letterbox, and he could see his keys, right? Phoned a locksmith, says, look, can you come round? I can see my keys, right? I just have to go out. And he went, well, yeah, but that doesn't matter. He said, I'm going to try it. It's 90 quid. And he went, 90 quid? He went, but I can see the keys. He went, yeah, I can get them for you. And he went, and my mate said, you're going to come round, you're going to charge me 90 quid, and you're going to scoop my keys up with a bent coat hanger. And the locksmith said, have you got a bent coat hanger, mate?
It's brilliant. But it's a fair point, isn't it?
Do you know
is
what
a
I
valid
mean?
point, that's it.
And what can you do?
Yeah. I'd have gone, thanks for the expert advice, and then asked the neighbour for a bent coat hanger.
And they went, well, we'll call it 100 quid.
Yeah.
But that's more expensive than the locksmith. Well, yeah, because you're going to illegal traders.
Exactly. We've got no licence.
yeah. We've got to pay a little bit more in case we get fined.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
that's what was going on when, you know, the fellow was round the other day fixing the boiler in the bathroom. Just wanted to make sure that he was working on it, because it all went quiet in there. He had the door shut. I'm trying to have a little quick sort of peep, seeing if he's doing anything. And I push the door. And
The
it's
way
like,
this sounds.
but just pushing the door slowly, and he's going, "Don't come in." I was like, "What are you doing?"
Well, what was he doing?
Dunno. But then he's like, 3 down, probably doing a crossword again. That's what annoys me, the way that, you know, it's all secret, you're not coming in, and you hear the odd bang now and again. He's probably sat there, crossword, 3 down, giving it the old, just now and again.
With his foot.
Just annoying.
Yeah.
How much did he charge you? 90 quid?
It's just under 90 quid.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all he said was, you know, give it a bang. If you don't work again, give it a bang.
What does that mean? Is that an air block? And they just like, what is it?
I don't know.
It's not that complicated. You wouldn't think a boiler's that complicated. It's not like understanding, you know, how a fast breeder works or a computer. It's a big lump of metal without water in it. How can we not know how that...
Yeah.
We were discussing yesterday, me and Glyn were trying to work out how a fridge works.
Right.
It's pretty cool.
Magic?
It is the magic comes down the electricals into the frozen peas.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. I know it's something to do with the hydrofluorocarbons can exist at much lower temperatures without freezing. So when they're entering the fridge, sort of under pressure, as they flow around, because the pressure goes down, they take energy from the
It's perhaps a discussion to have in the pub, but not on the air.
Play record
I still can't figure out. I've never quite understood how a plane stays in the air. It always underestimates me when I'm in a plane.
Turning a tap on, getting water.
Basically gonna go. Carl goes walking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a bit of science for you.
Go on.
Right. Read the other day.
Yeah.
If you dug a big hole, right,
Oh, God.
started digging, say in, wherever, the Trafalgar Square, right, you dig a big hole and you keep digging, and you go right through the earth,
Right.
out to the other side,
Yeah.
so you're somewhere in Australia or something, right,
Yeah.
and then you come back to London,
Right.
stand next to the hole, jump in it. Apparently, you can jump through the world in 42 minutes.
It's interesting.
But then I was thinking, will you fall? And then when you come out the other end, would you fall back again?
Well, yeah, you would, wouldn't you? What would happen is you'd accelerate 10 metres per second to the centre of the Earth,
And you
but
start
you'd have,
slowing down.
but you know, you'd have such inertia, you'd nearly go as far out the other end before it was like a bungee jump. So you'd nearly get as far as the other end, and then you'd go back again, and you'd keep going until back and forth, getting further and further away from making it until you went sort of back and forth in the centre, and then you'd stay still in the centre.
Have you drilled a hole through the earth? Get in touch. Email xfm.co.uk and just let us know how you got on. Did you get to the other side? Did you get to Australia? Did you buy one of those funny cork hats? Did you see Paul Hogan?
How does a fish work?